Lock the front door.
Here's Johnny.
Welcome back to another End Cut movie review. Today we have The Strangers, Chapter 1. And I'm confused, is this supposed to be a prequel or a reboot?
If you're familiar with the original Strangers 2008 with Liv Tyler, this movie is pretty much a remake. If you listen to anyone's reviews, and if you're just a person who has normal grammar, you'll think that this movie was a prequel to the original, you'll think it was a setup story to The Three Strangers, but no, this is just quite literally a shot-for-shot remake, except 10 times worse. The plot follows a couple who stop off in a Midwest country town, their car gets mysteriously broken, they have to get it fixed by the local mechanic, the locals offer them an Airbnb to stay at, they go and stay at it, next thing you know they're getting haunted, they're comically dumb, they have no idea how to survive anything. They just decide to stay in the house and just get murdered because they don't really care about living because they're stupid. It pretty much is Scary Movie 1, 2, 3, this movie. That's what it felt like. It's a spoof of the originals, even though it's meant to be a reboot or whatever the fuck it is. And this one did nothing at all better than the original. The original's great, really suspenseful movie. This one was not suspenseful at all. It was hardly scary. For a reboot, it was dreadful.
What was it? Was it a reboot or a prequel? It was supposed to be a prequel, Chapter 1, right? So it's supposed to go back in the past to figure out what's going on with the original. Didn't even do that. Yeah. It just copied the original and then made its own bullshit up with worse characters, worse acting, and shit storylines. What was the obsession with the house? Why did you have to stay at the house the entire time? You have no idea to run out the door and run as far as you can into these woods. I know they're trying to build anticipation of what might happen next, but you had no connection to these characters whatsoever. You wanted them to die. You wanted them to get stabbed. Yeah. You wanted them to get haunted. Halfway through this movie, I wrote down in the notes, he should just turn the gun on himself at this point. Because it was so stupid. That's how it felt. It felt like a spoof. All of it was just comedic. And there was no proper logic to this whole film. Where in the originals, it has something where you feel sorry for the characters. You feel like you want Liv Tyler to survive, and same with Scott. You want both of them to survive. In this one, you just like, I'm actually rooting for the killers at this point. I'm rooting for Kane running like Iron Man through the woods to kill these people. It's just ridiculous. There was no urgency to get out and move and escape. It was, let's stay to this house and let's go into a shed that's next door because they might not be there. Guy, they're fucking hanging around the whole house. Why would a shed be the best option? That guy, Ryan, who's one of the main guys in this, he injures his ankle, he rolls his ankle, and this man can't run for the rest of the movie. You're telling me that adrenaline wouldn't take over and get you through any of those situations? I'm pretty sure people who have no arms somehow use the arm that's not there when they have adrenaline. They just can't feel it. And this guy's complaining about rolling an ankle.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Madeline's character Maya randomly decides to start smoking, and they just look like normal cigarettes. So you think, okay, she's just got a smoking habit or whatnot. And then the boyfriend comes back and tells her that she's been seeing things, she's seen stuff like, don't worry, nobody's here. You know those cigarettes do that to you, they give you that effect. So what? They're blunts now. This chick was smoking blunts, and it does not look like a blunt. There's no explanation that she's smoking weed. You just meant to watch her smoking a cigarette and go, oh, it's definitely weed, so she's hallucinating. What? Where was the explanation of that? Why was that even a thing? They couldn't have just left that out? It makes no sense. It is actually comically bad how bad their survival skills were in this. It was Cindy from Scary Movie 1, 2, and 3, Brenda from Scary Movie 1, 2, and 3, where they just had no fight or flight. They were just like, oh yeah, we're just going to sit here and we're happy to just die, get killed, get murdered. Like, why? No human being who's about to get murdered is going to just lay down and let it happen. They're going to fight back. The boyfriend has a gun for half of the movie and still gets beat. These guys have knives. And this guy has a shotgun. First of all, he forgets to reload it. Come on, guy. Like, what are you even doing there? Second of all, he has the gun pointed at one of the killers and then just points at her and talks to her. First of all, I'm blowing her head to Kingdom Come. Then I'm turning around. I'm hearing fucking the Big Show running at me in the forest. And I'm putting the gun barrel straight into his brain. And I'm saying, bang, you're gone too. Guess what? Now it's a 2v1. I'll take those odds. I'm boxing them like fish and I'm taking those odds. But no, he stands there and he says, take me back to my girlfriend. Where else is she going to be? You're in a forest with a cabin. She has to be in the cabin. He's trying to interrogate one of the people with the mask, and they're doing laughing, they're dancing in front of him. Brother, pull the trigger. Take him out. He pulls the trigger earlier and shoots one of them, and then it ends up being the wrong person. And then this one, he's got one of them right in front of him, and he doesn't want to pull the trigger. Now, this is where the movie could have been cool, right? He pulls the trigger, the mask comes off, it's his missus. That would have been fucking unreal, and I would have been like, damn, that's awesome. But they didn't do that. And they just made it so stupid that he's just standing there looking at her with a gun in a forest that's empty, where if he just had a little bit of peripheral, like this guy's literally got no peripheral vision at all, he could have seen Big Show running at him, popped her, bang, You go home with your girlfriend, you live to fight another day. But it didn't happen. These guys were just dumb. And that's really annoying because in the original movie, they were actually trying to survive. As soon as Liv Tyler thinks someone's invading her home, she grabs a knife. Great work. At no point in this movie did Madeline's character try and survive anything at all. In fact, she did the one thing you don't do when you're home alone in a weird forest, surrounded by no one. She had a shower. How vulnerable are you in the shower? You can't tell me that when you take a shower and you're the only one home, you're not secretly keeping one eye open because you think someone's about to come in, like Psycho, and a hand's going to come on the back of your head. Always got your eyes open to make sure no one's going to come in and kill you. No, she just jumps in the shower. I'm chilling. It's just stupid.
And talking about interrogation, this guy had so many opportunities to nullify the issue, yet he made the most stupid, moronic, like no one would make these decisions in real life, let alone a movie. Even stupid movies don't make these type of decisions. This guy, Jordy and I were saying to each other throughout this movie, he must have been a Fed because they played it like he was in on it.
100%.
The whole time. That he was
against
his girlfriend. He was playing into the bit where she was getting the right answer from him. Like, oh, we should go here, or maybe there's something out there. He's like, no, you're delusional. You've been smoking a little bit of weed.
Gaslighting us.
Literally.
There's another possible thing that could have been good. If the boyfriend had ended up being one of the original strangers, that would have been cool. I don't know how they would have tied that in because obviously it's completely random. He's just come to a random country town that he's never been to. So tying that in would have been odd. But if the boyfriend had have been a part of the strangers and he brought his girlfriend out, sort of like Get Out, that would have been a great plot twist. But it wasn't. The guy's just a Fed and he has no survival skills and he wants to see Maya get tortured. I think he's a sadomasochist. He's from Rebel Moon 2.
General Atticus.
He's General Atticus from Rebel Moon 2. He wants to see pain because he was enjoying seeing his missus get hurt or something because he was doing nothing to help her. Nothing to try and make her survive. And when it comes down to it, if you're getting attacked by people and it's you or them, you are not being friendly with them or whatnot. You're taking them out and you're getting your missus out of there. No. Dude's going to go out with a sprained ankle. I mean, if you're going on the words of Charles Barkley, there's nothing worse than playing a basketball game on a sprained ankle.
Having a baby is not near as hard as playing basketball with a sprained ankle. I've told you that.
I know.
Okay, maybe this guy heard that and went with it. But he rolls his ankle and he can't do anything with the rest of the movie. Like, come on, man.
Speaking about this guy just being an absolute twat, the car logic in this movie didn't make any sense either. In the first one, he rear-ended the car and it never moved after that. The car was completely broken. In this, the killer gets into his car while they're trying to escape in this other car that they've just picked up. And somehow the killer's car's T-boning this guy. T-boning. Driver's side door. The car instantly stops working, but the other one that's got a front-on collision is still fine. Not a ding or a scratch on it. I don't know about you, but even horror movie logic doesn't work like that. It is so stupid. Like, there's so many things in this film that didn't make any sense and I don't think fit the film whatsoever. I don't know why they even went with this. It's just
like we said
idiotic.
From the get-go, it felt like a spoof, this movie. This movie actually felt like a spoof of the original one, in a way. We've had a lot of criticism for this movie in this review, and I think it comes from the fact that the original one was such a sleeper hit, and it was also such an underrated movie. Watching back the original one after seeing this newer version, some of the things that stand out about the original, it feels a lot more like a horror. It feels like a grainy sort of, the screen and the colour is a bit grainy. There's this yellow tinge over the house. There's this sort of look of fear or angst between Liv Tyler and her partner. The masks, the outfits that the strangers are wearing look a bit raggedy. They look a bit disheveled in a way. Whereas in this new iteration, which is a problem that a lot of horror movies are having now, it feels too cut and polished. It feels too clean. It just feels like a perfect production. Oh, it's got to be like the good-looking kids in school. It's got to be like the good-looking jock. It's got to be like the good-look. It's just, there's something about these movies that don't feel as rough and as ragged, and I guess that's a problem that is happening I feel with a lot of movies these days. When you watch movies from like the 90s and the early 2000s where they have this sort of unpolished look about them that makes it feel real and genuine, whereas these newer movies are just they're all perfectly made. It almost feels like it's almost just product placement everywhere. The nice BMW, the nice phone, it's just all feels too good. Feels too perfect in a way. I'm not sure if that's just because the cameras look better, but when you go back and watch the original one, you feel more uneasy and more on edge because of how grainy it sort of looks, whereas, this new one just doesn't have that.
This is what we say. We want them to die. That should not be the goal of the movie whatsoever. And it also shouldn't be leading to a second or a third installment of this film. I just don't understand why they want to go with that direction.
Like, this movie didn't really make you want to see the next two parts. This is part one, obviously, of a 3-part franchise. The way it sort of leads into the next film, you end up walking away going, I don't care. Like, cool, whatever. There's no interest at all in the. They didn't delve at all into the strangers. They didn't delve into their. I mean, maybe they will in these next two, which is probably going to be a bit cooler and a bit. Now, at least we get to understand why these guys are the way they are. But this movie itself did not lead you into that at all. You can't recreate a sleeper hit because it's a sleeper. That's how it becomes so good. It catches you off guard. Whereas if you're going into seeing a movie that's pretty much a reboot, you already know what's happening. So why is it? There's nothing new about it.
Don't need to reiterate any of it.
No.
Pave your own way, especially because it's based in the original. Chapter 1. Let's start something fresh, start something new. Maybe their killers are, I don't know, not as good at killing, and this is why they become so efficient in the later ones. Like, do something different. It just felt like they were the same old rigmarole that we've watched over and over again. It's just boring.
But as you know, we always finish these reviews with a rating, and for me, the rating of this movie will be a 10%. I thought this movie was no good. Watch the original one. Watch the 2008 version. There's no really redeeming qualities of this movie, so yeah.
I'm going to give this a 5%. It just is a carbon copy of the original. I might as well go back and watch the original with Liv Tyler. Way better. Anyway, guys, it's been another Uncut Movie Review. Do not forget to like and subscribe.
What can I do for the question? There's nothing like really...
Who won, Kendrick or Drake?
Question of the day. What is your favourite scary movie? For me, the movie that scarred me the most was Smile. God, that movie was horrible.
Really?
Horrible.
Smile.
Never want to see that ever again.
Such a good movie.
Nah, never.
My favourite horror movie has to be The Sinister. It is just ranked so highly among all of them. Yeah. He's something about the boogeyman. I can't be watching old runs of film anymore because that guy just haunted me forever. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Answer the question in the comments, will you? We got one today. He's modded. Someone answered the question. We love you. Anyway, guys, peace. We out.
Peace.
And cut.